Konnichiwa, friends and fans, Raptor here. Going to be playing Cities in Motion. It's a good game that basically like a Transport Tycoon type game, and it's really fun to play. I've played the European campaign before, but I'm going to go ahead and test out the Tokyo campaign, so let's get started. Land of the Rising Sun. Alright, and just give me a second here. Choose a cool logo. Crane's good. There we are. Alright, 1975 to 1977. So, this is Scenario 1, Rapid Expansion. Tokyo, the capital of Japan, is entering a growth phase. New inhabitants flood the city, eager to participate in the economic boom. The city is engaged in providing new housing for the influx of citizens. It's up to you to modify the public transport system to handle the increased demand. So this photo is really cool. It's like old meets new. It's really cool. I like that. So anyway, this game it's kind of like Transport Tycoon, except you're in one city and you transport nothing but people, and so you have to use different methods, and there's different goals, and I'll show you how to do things as we go along. Keep in mind, this is kind of a let's play. I'm not doing anything special. I'm not going for all goals. I'm just going to basically show you how I played through these things. So let's get going. Alright, so scenario briefing. Good day to you. I'm Mr. Minobe, Governor of Tokyo. We're expecting a large number of citizens, and I have already zoned some land for new housing, so development should be underway any day now. Do you think you could help me with the public transport? I'm afraid it would require quite a bit of work, or it will require quite a bit of work over the next few years, so of course we'll help out Governor Minobe. Alright, so let's see. Haven of Peace is our first goal, or our first objective. My first priority is to ensure that our new inhabitants feel relaxed and comfortable after their long journey. A park in the city center provides real haven of peace in this busy urban settings. Please, could you build 2 direct lines to the park? Absolutely. Alright, and there's our objective there. Haven of Peace. Build 2 lines to the park and transport 20 passengers. Objective is pending, and we have a 2,000 yen reward for doing so. Alright, so let's get started then. And you can see cars and things drive around. That's basically our competition right there on the highway. So we got to get people taking buses and trams and monorails and subways. And we have to get them to the park over here. So that's our first goal. So I'll go over things quite quickly here. Kind of everything on the screen, just so you guys know I'm clicking on when I'm doing it. This is the headquarters panel, and in here is the budget estimate, the banks, which you can take out loans at, the energy, which shows you energy costs, fuel costs, that your basic expenses are for running these vehicles, company policy, which is like fees for getting on and off these transports, advertising, and of course customer profiles, which lets you know how you're doing via the customers. There's a vehicle panel where you can buy and sell vehicles, everything from buses, trams, metro trains, water buses, and helicopters. And then the lines tab, which is the most important one, where you basically connect all of these things together in a spider web of transportation. And then you have your graphs panel, which nothing as of yet, because we haven't done anything, which shows how many people are riding it, what they think of it, the debt that we're in, company value, monthly profit, that kind of thing. And then I like this, the roster panel screen, which shows you who's making the most, vehicle-wise, and who's making the least, or if they're costing you, so you can get rid of it. So let's get started. I'm going to start by going here to the wrenches, which is the construct tab, and I'm going to build a monorail station, which is $565. So we're going to go ahead and put a couple of these down, and it's great to keep your this is like a medium end transportation. It can take a lot more than buses, but nowhere near what the metro trains can take. So we'll put this in the major downtown area. So here we have a large office building there. It's turning greenish now. There it's green. That's what you want to build next to, is either tons of buildings or major landmarks. Like down here we have the Tokyo Tower. Kind of looks like the Eiffel Tower. So we'll build one right in front of that. And we'll build one over here to get these buildings on this side. Also that building with the H on the upper right hand corner. That's a fire station, so that's going to be good to build next. Next we will go to the right and we will build over here at there's a high school here that we'll build at. And then we can't build, well actually we'll build up here. There's a construction area up here, and that in about a day or two is going to be a mall. So as soon as that's finished, that'll help deliver passengers to that as well. So we've got major things already taken care of: the park, the office building, the tower, the fire station, the high school, the mall. Let's build one that goes next to the stadium. See if we can bring that. Let's see, would that interrupt it? No. Just make sure I'm not cutting my lines off. Then we'll go over here to cover the hospital and the end of the other side of the stadium, and then we'll link it back to. We'll leave a little bit of a gap there just to give the buses something to do next. So then we'll build a monorail track, and it's best to not, don't build a straight line over your stations, and by that I basically mean this. Connect the ends, like grab an end here, and I don't think I grabbed it. Yeah, I did. Oh, I didn't now. Alright, I'll zoom in so we can see what we're doing. Alright, grab an end, and then just connect the ends together. And it's always best to start by building your stations or your stops first, because then all you have to do is build your line to your stops, especially if you're building, of course, if you're building with trains or trams or whatever, you have to build the track first. I mean, you have to build the track last, and if you build it first, it's a lot more complicated. Plus, then you have to click back and forth all the time, so... Alright, let's go ahead and build that curve, and we're already up to the stadium and the second stadium stop, and right on back to the park. Perfect. Alright, so now let's go ahead and take a look at everything. It looks good, and we'll make our first line for that. So you go over to the Lines tab, click on the tram, create a new line. You can even rename your lines. We'll add a couple of stops here. I'm going to build on the left side, which would be the right as you're going forward. Oop, didn't want to do that. Alright. Oh, come on, I did it for a second time. Gotta be nimble with the mouse. The stops are very small, just like everything in Japan. Alright, so now we've got our final stops going up here, and we'll loop back to this park, and we'll manage a vehicle. We'll buy the Hana Buy Challenger, and we'll buy one of those for 1,100, and we'll go ahead and hit the flag and let that start up. So there, it's pulling out of the station. We'll just click over on these trees so it's not so noisy. Oh, that could be annoying. Okay, so now there's barely anyone at these stations because you have to gain confidence in the people. You have to prove to these people that it's a reliable mode of transportation, and you have to reach even more people. So that's called feeding the line. And that's a big part of this game, is you want smaller transport to bring people to medium transport, and medium transport to bring people to larger transport, and you make money for every transfer. So if somebody spends $5 to get on the bus and $10 to get on the monorail, just for example, they're going from spending $5 to $15. That's a 300% increase for those of you who are fans of math out there. Go ahead and check that math too, by the way. Get back to me on that. And by the way, there's the rape train. For those of you who like my Men of War Assault Squad reviews, you'll be quite familiar with that mode of transportation. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring some buses in. So we'll bring people in towards the monorail. So we'll build a couple of stops going towards the monorail, and this will be our second line leading to the park. And we'll have it loop around just for fun. Actually, we'll have it go, let's see, I think we'll have it just go up to this second monorail stop, and then it'll go back up over to here, and that'll make a complete loop. Now, it's important to be careful of what side you're placing your stops on, because your buses will have to go all the way around if they have to go onto the opposite side of it. Meaning, like, if this bus stop was on the other side, the guy would have to go he'd have to loop around a block just to come around. So make sure you're not doing that. So we'll connect those ones up to the main monorail, and then we'll go back up to the stadium to get turned around. We'll bring people back into this area, and then it'll loop around again, starting at the shopping center here. Good place to put the line to, shopping center. Of course, this is downtown Tokyo. There's like a shopping center and a million malls and a million houses on every corner. So, and by the way, you'd think the buses and trains would be clogged by now, but that's not the case. So we'll start by building the Pathfinder City, which is 20% capacity, 65% attractiveness. The major thing that I like is that it's only 685, and there's a 4% chance of breakdown on this type of bus. So we'll go ahead and buy one of those, and we'll go ahead and fire up the line. And now we've got 2 lines going there. So Haven of Peace is now underway, and we'll click off that annoying noise. God, the vehicles are just too loud sometimes. But alright, so now we have status of 0 passengers carried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away for a little bit behind the scenes action and build some more bus lines, and I'll be back to show you guys basically what it's like to feed the line from every corner. And you know, I'm basically just going to do the same thing as I did there. I'm going to build bus lines over here, and you know, here's another hospital, and connect everything together. And I will be back just before the completion of the objective. Alright, so we've got 19 passengers carried. I've extended a lot of my lines here. In fact, I built another tram line going in the opposite direction, and even bought 2 more trains. So we have 4 monorail trains, plus we have up to now 4 bus lines as well, and they go all the way to the east, if you will. And they stop over here. They even connect to the metro line right here, which is really good because it helps to connect the line all together. So basically you can now get on the metro in the north and come down here and get on the bus and go to the tower, and all the major things are connected, even the high school. High school is putting out a lot for the oh, there's the objective completed. So line 4 has tons of passengers, so we'll see what our next objective is now from the governor. So let's see. Excellent. Just look at how happy the people are now, enjoying the peace and quiet. Well done. Very good. And let's see. Bright lights. We now have a new... I'm sorry. We have a fine new shopping center. Those bright lights and inviting stores make me feel like shopping. Could you build a line there quickly? And so we already have a line, actually 2 lines going to the shopping center. And so basically now all we got to do is sit and wait a little while for the passengers to get dropped off at the shopping center. Now, I've transported many passengers already, and it took about maybe 20 minutes for the park goal to be completed. So this one might take another 20 minutes, just because even though people may be stopping at the monorail station or the bus station, they actually have to go in and be actually physically going to the shopping center for it to count. So I'll show you what my plans are for the future. Now, I don't want to expand too much because that's what you're kind of supposed to do between each goal. And when you complete goals, even if I was to complete that shopping center goal right away, some goals they delay you on, like they make you wait a year from completing that goal before you get the next goal, so you can continue to expand on your own. But eventually there's a goal where you have to build 10 more lines, and that's exactly what I'm going to use this part of downtown for. In fact, I'm going to build a monorail down there eventually, and a monorail over here on this island eventually, so that way I can again feed the buses to it and maybe use the metro line for it, and just have everything connect and make money off of it. But you know, it would kind of be useless now to make tons of lines and then have to make 10 more lines later, because no matter what, no matter how efficient your lines are, even if you had 100% coverage of the city, the governor, Mr. Minobi, wants you to connect 10 more lines together. So everything's working great here. I'm pretty proud of this system. It works so well that like I said, I had to buy another monorail, and as you can see, this monorail down here has 26 passengers, and the buses are continuing to pull up to the shopping center with 17, 15. That's pretty good. So, and let's see if we get our first passenger. It looks like the first bus dropped people off and no one went. So it'll take a while. But I also did complete a goal down here on accident, which I guess is not really accident because I knew it was going to happen. But this fast food restaurant here, it's a part of the goal to connect to a line to it. So you get 1,500 yen or dollars or whatever to connect to it. And so I did that and got some basically free cash. Plus there's another shopping center down here, and I'll expand to that later, so that's going to be a lot of fun to do that. So for now, again, we'll just sit back and wait for that money to flow in, and more passengers to come. I also wanted to mention that I took out a loan. I took out a $4,000 loan just to jumpstart buying those 2 trains and a couple of more buses after I completed my lines. And we're doing well with having a monthly profit of $2,221.29 with the big expense, and usually always is the station maintenance, followed by the vehicle maintenance. So, and we got buses are most profitable too, $900 from that. So that's really good. So we'll be back in just a second. Oh, and look, we got our first passenger. Oh, 2 passengers now. Look at that. 3. Oh, this will be ready in no time. All right. We'll see you in a second.